Good afternoon, welcome back to the Stellaris pre-stream. We are Greater Denmark, reaching out into space, trying to make the most of what we have. And I appreciate that this could be the first time seeing it for a few people, or that they weren't able to catch the whole God knows how many hours we were at it last time. So we'll try our hand at a recap. We are the Danes. I'm pretty sure these are what Danes look like. And we have reached out from our home planet in Bornholm. Isn't it beautiful? It is our center of science, really. And we have gone and expanded to the worlds around us. Subjugated a few people along our way. We have the strange plant people that are our loyal vassal. Same too with whatever these goat things are. And we had another one which we recently integrated. And that was over at Girtab system. Whereabouts are those suckers? Here at Kittadul. There's a bit of a problem with these guys at Kittadul. They are xenophobic. And they hate our guts because of that. They are completely unhappy. They're probably going to try and rise against us. And yeah, you can see why that's just not going to work out so well for us. So I'm probably just going to sector this planet and have them sort things out amongst themselves. Since I want to have a more superior race on my 5 core planets. In fact, I'll... the problem with sectoring it is that they have... what is that again? Oh, it's just terraforming liquids. I have plenty of those. I rather think I will just sector this place. Not before building up an army here, mind. I could really do with an army just in case they decide to try and take over the place. So maybe a defense army could come in handy. Yeah, 5 of those. It won't cost too much in maintenance, and maybe they'll keep it safe just in case the people decide to rise up against us. Otherwise, we have our great allies down in the south. These similarly reptilian people, and they're through. And we did start out at Adventure Island, so that works well for me. Now, these guys are friendly towards us. Not that we expect them to do much in any wars, they're just there in case we get ganked upon by others. Although these days, can you up the transparency for chat a wee bit? You mean you want to see through it a bit? Nah, just no. Adventure Island, and Jake says he doesn't like. That's probably memes under there. Well, this is based on the Greater Denmark EU4 playthrough, and we did start out at Adventure Island, so that works well for me. Now, these guys are friendly towards us. Not that we expect them to do much in any wars, they're just there in case we get ganked upon by others. Although, since we've actually paid attention to technology in this game, we should have a reasonable chance at this. When did you start streaming, Jake? About 3 minutes ago, so don't worry, nothing much has. The issue would be that I would lose all my orbiting satellites around there. Hopefully that'll get changed. I also want to take care of these two, because I have 2 right here and they are hamming into everything. It's just my luck, though, that we have a perfectly habitable world right influence points. And it's a bit of a weakness in the game that you can't actually see how much influence these are having. But after checking it over, I'm fairly certain I can get rid of this frontier outpost without any issues. The issue would be that I would lose all my orbiting satellites around there. Hopefully that'll get changed. I also want to take care of these two, because I have 2 right here and they are hamming into everything. It's just my luck, though, that we have a perfectly habitable world right here. Reasonably sized. It's more sized than our capital, although we don't know how to deal with sinkholes. But it's not habitable for everybody. Actually, let's have another closer look at it. It's arid around here. Thankfully, though, we have the Ultra Danes who love habitable worlds. And the Ultra Danes hang out on... not Jutland. Where do they... the Ultra Danes are in Stettin, of course. So what I'm going to do is establish a colony full of our greatest Ultra Danes. Xenophile Materialist Ultra Danes, yes please, and we'll ship you off to the new worlds there. So that'll allow us to demolish these 2 and save a lot on influence points. At least that's what I'm going for, because as a disclaimer, I have not played a lot of Stellaris. I didn't play it too much during development, so a lot of it is new for me, new and exciting. So what are we going to do about this? I think I made this sector a touch too big, so I'm going to scale back on that a wee bit. Manage that sector. You do not get to have that. Or that. Okay, that cost me influence. I was unaware that that cost me influence. Well, fun and games, isn't it? I'll have to wait a few months to get that back then. Oh well, can't worry about everything. What I can, well, not even worry about, but what I can do is get all of my ships working in some way. Now, I really like having them help out with the scientific advancements that we have here. You, for example, are assisting research right there. You're already doing that. And Gotland, don't you give me quite a bit of research? A reasonable amount. So I could always grab another science ship. That is a construction ship, apparently. Okay, it has no leader, so it can't help out there. And I'm not sure if I want to get another leader since we have recruitment costs for that. And all my researchers are busy, so I might just do away with this science ship. And I always found that 2 construction ships were plenty, so I'll get rid of my excess one here as well. Because you're not doing much, and I don't think there's anything you do whilst in orbit. Upgrade, terraforming. Nah, I don't need any of that at the moment. You are gone. So we're looking okay here. Jake, remember that Denmark once held Estland in case you need a new sector name. Estland, you say? I might just have to go for that. Alright, but first and foremost, I want this planet right here. We'll get our colonies on the go for it, and I want to see... I've got to remember that I'm only allowed 5 core planets, or else things start getting a little hairy. I want to focus on tearing down these, my frontier outposts. So we'll keep the going. What do we have here? Our good friends to the south would like a mutual research agreement. How unfortunate. Yes, I do agree. Well, if they're offering it to me, that's quite nice. So these planets that I took over, they're not very happy, and they're probably going to start rising up against us. What we did was we stuck all of our assault armies here. But perhaps I could do with a touch more than that. Do you have armies defending yourselves as well? That I wonder. Ah, I stuck armies on both of them. Hopefully the local population will not rise up and destroy me. They're not that angry. In fact, I quite like these guys because they are not xenophobic like the others. So hopefully they will not come and ruin my day. But the new planet is full of xenophobes, and that's leaving me pretty unsure what to do with it. Ooh, I like that. Getting these terraforming liquids are pretty nice. I wonder if I could benefit from using them in some way. So yeah, I actually don't know what to do with these guys. They're never going to be happy because they have alien overlords. I can't change that, or at least I'm not willing to change that. And there's just so much about how I operate that they don't like. I can hope that their ethics diverge, and otherwise just not do anything to improve their planet. Because at least there's only a few of them, and sure, they don't make us much of anything. Well, they still give us a fair chunk of energy credits, so I could just say, forget doing any kind of mining, I want my energy credits.
Complete.
So, get with the power plantations. Research is going to be considerably more expensive now that I have so many pops. Jings, it's really jumped up in how long it's going to take. But we did get a good early advantage with this, so I can't complain too much about it. Space-time theory, planet fortifications, advanced shields. I do like the idea of that. I also like plasma. Let's focus on building ourselves tall right now. Jake, can you just starve them out, maybe? People are tricky like that. They don't die easy. That's going to make it difficult to conquer any of these other lands because the areas to the north are full of xenophobes. And I'll be honest, I don't know how to deal with xenophobes. Jake, maybe try terraforming a planet. I haven't seen anyone try it yet. I agree with you there. I haven't seen it done. I could at least try to figure out how easy or hard it is. So I want to find a world that I really want to be mine. Well, maybe not really want, but this one would be nice. It's very habitability for the very habitable for the hand-tack people, but I'm not sure I care much about that. Where's our construction ship? You're kind of far away. You're also even further away. Let's get our construction ship over there and see if we can do anything about it. Now, we also have another science ship that's just dossing around, because there isn't too much for me to do with my scientists. I'll get them over to the place that's doing the most research. Stettin actually does quite a lot. But Gotland will end up doing more, so our science ship can go over to Gotland and assist with the research. It gives a staggering 50% bonus to the researching. See, I can get behind that. We won't be going to war anytime soon, so if you don't want to miss that, you won't be losing out by going away for a bit. Don't worry about that. Ripper autocannons, you say? Sounds lengthy. I'll go for better engineering facilities at the moment. So, what can I do? I want to build up all my planets because I have plenty of materials to do so. And as it happens, I think I'm vastly, or at least going to be, vastly overproducing on food here. So anywhere that naturally gives us lots of food is good to be our main farm. Otherwise, though, I want better laboratories. Can I upgrade you? Yes, even better power plants. There's no upgrading to be done for the Empire Capital Complex. And really, I don't care about the mining network. I was going to replace you with something. The adjacency does help a wee bit here, but isn't there something better I can build? I'll consider that later, once I upgrade everything else. Energy credits, you can't go wrong with them. I don't have a better engineering facility just yet. So I am trying to reach for the stars here and focus quite heavily on energy credits and research in my planets. Minerals I can mine out, and the rest not so much. The sectors will deal with themselves, and I can dump any excess there. What is this? The time for future betterment of the Tumbatorian Greater Danish diplomacy is at hand. Who are these goat people again? Am I getting the wrong ones? Oh, it's my vassal. That's kind of nice. They're pathetic and loyal. I integrated these xenophobic ones, but that's just causing me problems. I'll have to figure out how that's going to work out. Jake, can you try to pronounce N Tapper Land Soldat? No, I think I'll pass on that. Things looking fairly good for our nation. Or our empire, as it is. It's a shame that I ripped down part of the sector here. So the sector's going to swallow up these special goods that really I would rather have. But similarly, I'm not sure what to do with... Ooh, I want this system right here. But these guys are claiming it's theirs. Why is that? Well, eventually it'll become ours. These guys' days are numbered. The day when judgment will be passed upon you grows even closer. You have knowingly rejected the truth and elected to gorge yourselves on material wealth, sinful deeds and forbidden knowledge. There can be no hope for your kind. That's directed at you, Danes. So, I really want Gotland to be the shining example of what a province should be. Even though it's not full of pops at the moment, they will grow. And in preparation for that, I want things to be as tall as they can get. Shouldn't need too much food, surely. Are Danes that hungry? Laughably, nobody's working here at all, but adjacency towards this place is pretty good. Or at least adjacency effects will be good. Mineral, food, and energy credits. Actually, maybe I should cancel this. And just, in fact, tear it down completely. Because I could replace it with something better. I could get my... Oh, I want research institutes so much. They give so much of everything. I wonder if it's a planetary... oh no, it's Empire unique. Well, this place is going to be pretty crazy on the researching, so I can get behind that. But maybe it should go here. But there was something I wanted to put here. I wanted to replace it with something else, but I can't quite remember. I think I wanted to put... oh well, what do I know? We've still got an excess of food, and we'll have more as these things get larger. So what I'm going to build is... no, not a robot. Cool though they are. I'm going to replace this with... you. A very nice power plant. So I guess I can upgrade you? I'm not sure what I was planning on having here. But I sure as heck can't remember. I don't have any clone areas here, so I think I might just replace it with some clone vats. So I can get a nice big army on the go. It's a huge planet, surely it can have plenty of clones. Yeah. Otherwise though, everything else can certainly be upgraded. And I'm not too worried about there not being enough pops. The pops will fill out on their own. Even better power plants. Even better food production. Food is something I can balance out later on. This makes me very happy that I have plenty of energy credits and materials to be doing this. Get that science done, lads. It'll fill out with pops soon enough. They're not all that happy around here. I wish I had a way to make them happier. I guess I could genetically enhance my Danes to be that bit happier. But they'll be good. Yeah, they are diverging a bit from my own ethics, so Xenophile... wait, yeah, we're meant to be Xenophile. Collectivist. It's kind of tempting to erect something that makes them less divergent like that. For example, if I didn't have that on Gotland, and instead built, say, a Lithuric atmospheric manipulator, unique to the Empire, that would keep ethics closer to home. Actually, I rather think I'm going to do that. It'll take a while to be built anyway, I don't care that it's so lately queued up, but it'll reduce ethics divergence and bring them closer to my Empire. Jake, do you know how the weights work for the technologies in the general, or in more general in the Clausewitz engine? I'd be surprised if it was anything other than scripting for weighting of technologies, and the scripting is easy peasy. What else is going on? There is Stettin, which I have been paying very little attention to. And I really shouldn't, because they have our Ultra Danes. They already produce plenty of food. This could well be the food main area. Planetary administration always could do with upgrading a planetary capital, since it allows for better everything. So I could just have these two areas producing food and it'll probably cover everything. Yeah, this one does extra for adjacency. In fact, why even bother upgrading you? You're already surplus to requirements if I have these two on the go with their adjacency extras. Better farms and a frontier clinic. That'll get everything we need. Otherwise though, I want to get these upgraded, but okay, I need planetary capital on the go. What a pity. What else could I do? More science or other things? I think we should just focus on the money around here. The thing about Ultra Danes is they are thrifty, but then they are also very good at science. I'll hum and ho over this, but I think, yeah, let's get that delicious science on the go. This one's adjacent to the planetary administration, so this one should be dealing in the energy credits. And I think I have plenty of the extra stones, so we'll get another one of these power plants. I'm only caring about my super core planets here, and Kitadul will not be a super core planet for all that much longer. Terraform. Yeah, go figure, those guys are going to get angry, but high support for these pops, you say? They'll ruin their places, but it's up to my my sector to take care of that. Hopefully they don't cause too much harm. I'm not overly certain how that works. In fact, I don't have a clue how best to deal with revolts. But I'm sure we'll figure it out. Yeah, I need the influence points to be getting these better planets on the go. Or at least these better planetary capitals. Still, Jutland is going to be yet another scientific wonder. And this one has plenty of food, so let's get that food on the go. Otherwise, though, I want science. Lots of science. Materials is possible, but I think I'll pass on that. Materials I could just mine out. But science, it's a little tougher to mine science. Still happens, though. So maybe I should just keep building up loads of science around here. At the very least I can upgrade it later on. Energy places I want to do next to the capital because we get the adjacency bonus to that. Food, energy or mineral outputs, and since I don't mine, I'm happy to go for the power plants. Power hub as well, that does sound nice. Because not only does it do its own good, it spreads the energy, or at least gives more energy credits. It does also cost influence though, and I don't like that. I don't like it enough. So there'll be unemployed pops here for a while, but that's fine. Well, no, not unemployed pops, but unworking buildings. Because I don't have unemployed pops. As I always claimed in Caesar, unemployment is good. Naval capacity is great, but holy smokes, empire habitability is too good to pass up. I'm having that. Jake is just A has weight 1 and B has weight 10, so B is 10 times more likely to appear, and that's exactly it. Mr. Thergonomic. So Jake, when will you take on the fallen empire neighbouring you? Probably when they're not overwhelmingly powerful compared to me. Everything about them is overwhelming. As soon as I can pick a fight with them, I'll be happy to. So Kitadul, what am I meant to do with you? You're just there moaning all the time. This is your capital here, right? No, that's a power plant. This is your capital. Granted, it is a planetary capital. You do produce a wee touch of energy creds for me, so it's not all lost there, but I still lose half of them. Well, I mean, I'd rather have you do some stuff than no stuff, so we'll get those power plants on the go. They'll never be happy, and their ethics will keep diverging, but I hope that their ethics will diverge so that they no longer become xenophobic. That is the hope. They have plenty of food. If anything, they have too much food, but even being unhappy doesn't stop them from producing that food. We've got a defense army on the go, so even if they rise up, they can't do any real harm. What I want is to get my colony ship, and would you look at that, it's ready to roll.
Research complete.
And then I do not know how to colonize arid provinces. Well, damn. Guess I've got you sitting around for a while.